Hi everybody, June here from Red Daisy Crafts. So glad to have you join for Think Creatively Sunday Live. We have the new Paper Pumpkin coming in, and we're going to get started unboxing that. So just as a reminder, we also have the July. We are in the July subscription period for the Paper Pumpkin Sweeter with You. So go check that out. If you're not already subscribed for that, you're going to want to check it out. It's going to be really fun. It looks like it has some strawberries and some gingham and really pretty colors and all fun stuff. So the colors in that kit is going to be garden green, which is the ink spot, and granny apple green, pool party, poppy parade, and strawberry slush with timid tiger. So really fun, bright colors, getting ready for the July kit. That also has 8 cards, so 2 of 4 different designs, so lots of fun coming our way. So be sure and check that out. And so let's go ahead and go down to the table. We are going to be playing with Full of Charm today, and so let's do it. Yeah, there we go. So we have our paper pumpkin, and I really haven't looked at much other than kind of seeing what the cards were actually. So tell me if you've got your kit, if you've already opened it up, and all the good things. So we have Pretty Peacock is the ink spot this month. And let me get this box out of the way. And we're going to open this up. So here it is. There it is, Full of Charm. And we'll get it out of the cellophane so that you cannot have that glare. But there's the front of that. And we are going to have a lot of fun today working on the cards that the kit was designed and dreaming about what types of alternates we would like to make. So I am going to be playing with that. Let me get here the stamps that are in this kit. I love the stamps in this kit. I'm so glad. I could not handle last month with no images. Just the birds, I think, were the only images we had. And so I'm very happy to have images. I also love that this particular kit coordinates with another I don't know, bundle or collection, I should say, that is available online. So here we go. We have looks like 9 cards. They are all the same. They're white on the inside, so there isn't a lot of extra fun going on here other than the outside of the envelope, which is timid tiger stripes. But that looks fun. Okay. I'm really hoping, I think I got my problem solved with all of the focusing. So let me know if things are not focusing, because I have really tried to figure this out. Last week just drove me bananas, and then also with the rain last week that I wasn't expecting, and then we had a power outage, and so we had all kinds of fun stuff happening. So let me see. I'm not seeing my comments, so I'm opening this up. Hey Wanda. Oh, good. Your kit arrived about an hour ago. How fun. Are you going to unbox with me? That would be awesome. So here is one of the card bases that came in the kit, and there are 3 of those. So lots of options here, because we can definitely at least cut this in half and get some other cards. This is also foiled, similar to the envelopes, right? Similar style to the envelopes with those stripes, but the foiling is on both sides. Oh, yay. I'm so glad. I love it when you craft with me. Then we have some label pre-cut dies, die cuts for the card. And these look kind of fun. We have some printed stitching on here. Some of this looks like the radiating dies that we had. And these are just some strips. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these out because we're going to make at least one of each of these. So getting that out of here. All right, then we have another card base with foiling on it. So this looks, some people might say that this looks like newsprint, but there's no words or anything like that. But it is speckled with gold foiling. So another great piece to work with on the card, on the alternates, I mean. So I'm just spreading these out here. So we have some gorgeous die cuts that are going to be awesome. This one I know I've seen in the example that it gets layered on, but I'm going to go ahead and pop these out. One set of these. So that's the first one. And then this one. And I would ask you to consider being very delicate whenever you pop this one out, because it looks pretty fragile with all that delicate die cutting going on around the flowers. And so you want to be very careful that you don't tear anything. And it is a rather large piece, so just being extra careful with that as you pull it out. So as you can see here, there we go. So let me just show you that up close on here so you can see it, how big it is. It's big. Like, this is one of the card sides. Like, it is almost that whole size. Can you believe that? So yeah, that's going to be gorgeous on there. So that's one piece. Oh, I forgot a flower off of here. So there you go. And, you do have some extra white on here if you need little extra banners or whatever for sentiments. So you might just want to hang on to that in case you don't have extra white laying around. The great thing about this is that it really matches. Sorry for the yawning. It really matches the card bases. So that's the difference. Whereas our basic white doesn't entirely match. So, oh goodness, it says we're having some issues going to Facebook. So, not sure what's going on with that. Let's see. Huh. I wonder if I can check that out really quick on my phone to see. Just when you think you have things straight, then it isn't working right. So let me just double check and see if it's showing up on the page right now, or if it stopped. Oh, it says I was live. So I'm not sure what to do. Well, I can always push it there. I'm going to keep going and just see what we need to do afterwards, because I can always save it, download it, and then put it out to Facebook. So sorry if you're on Facebook and that's happening. So I do give the links over there for you to go over to YouTube. Here's the other die cut piece that comes in the kit. Again, this one is a very big piece, not nearly as fragile, much more solid pieces. And so let's just get this out here as well. So there's that piece there. So we have that one, and then it looks like we have two other pieces. And this one looks kind of fragile as well. Let's see as we get this off of here. So it looks like from a colors perspective, we have quite a few colors here, very bright, bold colors. I would think some brights and regals more so. So we have those two leafy die cuts that we just pulled off, which are really, really nice. It looks like we have some options there. So again, I'm just going to hang on to that piece. And it looks like those are all of the paper pieces. So we, of course, we have our instruction guide here. So you're also getting some tear and tape. I'm not going to open this. I have plenty of tear and tape over here. And then we also have some glue dots. Oh, this isn't wanting to open. I think this got kind of smushed in my box because it's kind of folded over. Oh, there we go. All right, so we have some glue dots as well. And we have some dimensionals. Looks like full-size dimensionals. And then we have some gold sequin, which I also think there's some gold sequin available in the online store. So we definitely have a way to get more if we need it. So here are the instructions, the full color instructions that come in the kit. So you can definitely use that if you need to, and we will use this to put together our cards from what the kit designed. So I'm just going to grab 3 envelopes for now, and one of each of the card bases, and then we will put the other ones away and we will put our cards together. I am also wanting to show you, so let me just kind of get some of this put aside for now. I also want to show you the items that coordinate with this this month's kit that are available online, and that is the Charming Day bundle, which is really beautiful, has some beautiful flowers, looks like it does match up very nicely, and there are some dies in here as well, so lots of options for us to work with, so we can get additional greenery and things like that that coordinate nicely with the kit. So we'll be bringing that in when we do our alternates. And then also there's some coordinating papers, and these are gorgeous, y'all. I am in love with these papers, and they are called Floral Charm. Okay, it's the Floral Charm DSP. So let's just flip through here real quick before we put our the cards together. And so we have this really gorgeous colors here: Berry Burst, Night of Navy, Pretty Peacock. And then the back side is a Night of Navy solid, but it's tone on tone. You can see the florals in there. So that's one of the papers. Then we have this paper that has a lot of Timid Tiger, Old Olive. It looks like, what was the other color that I can't think of? So the colors were Basic Beige, which is what you're seeing in the background here. Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, that's what it was. Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, Mossy Meadow. I said, I think Old Olive a minute ago, but this is Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Pretty Peacock, Timid Tiger, and then the gold accents. So This side on the back has a really beautiful mossy meadow, just kind of textured looking paper with different variations of the color. So I think that is also very beautiful. Then we have this, which, oh my gosh, look at this. It matches this perfectly. So how awesome is that? I love that. And then on the other side here, we have Timid Tiger as well, again, with the variations of tone on tone in that floral design. So we have that piece, and then this piece is gorgeous. We have the berry burst. Looks like a little bit of bubble bath in here, but that's probably just the generation, stamping off the color. With early espresso, and on the back we have berry burst again, and so absolutely stunning. If you haven't seen these papers, they are gorgeous. You are going to want them. This one really matches that first set of dies that was so delicate. I'm letting things fall off my table here, so I'm gonna see if I can grab this here. But this one really kind of matches up with that that design, so I'm loving that. On the flip side, we have this gorgeous and pretty in pink of the greenery. I'm totally in love with this paper. I don't know if you can tell. And then the last design are these beautiful flowers in the berry burst, the blackberry bliss. We have leaves in mossy meadow and pretty peacock with the basic beige in the background, so very muted and gorgeous tones with this blackberry bliss on the back side with a leafy image and tone on tone. So we will definitely be bringing in those items when we do our alternates starting next week. So I am so excited for that. All right, so let's dig in here and do our first card. Let's just get our pieces organized really quick. So I think we just need this as well as this piece here for that one. We are definitely going to be doing some stamping. So I'm just moving all my little extras out of the way here. On the second card, we are using the speckled card base, and that is getting this gorgeous die cut on it, as well as these two. Or no, not these two. That one is not the right one. This one is going on here, as well as the circle sentiment die cut. And then the final one is going to use this piece, this die cut, and this little piece, as well as the flower with this sentiment. So I'm just going to move those out of the way and we will begin. All right, so how's everybody doing? Thanks for joining. I'm glad you're here. If you came over to YouTube from Facebook, I thank you. I'm not sure why, but I use StreamYard to do my videos each week, and for some reason today it is not connecting. So I will definitely download the video and get it put into the group right as soon as it all is ready and processed. So I will definitely do that. So let me grab a couple of blocks because I did not have them out already, and then we will get started. So let's see here. Let's see, maybe one more, just in case. All right, so these cards are, a lot of white. So I know that we are going to have a chance to really change things up as we move along. For this card, we're going to need our leaf, this particular leaf stamp. So I'm just going to put it down on my mat and then pick it up with the block. So we're using this stamp right here on this card. And then we also need the sentiment to a wonderful friend. So I'm pulling that off. And again, we are going to grab it with our block here, like so. And we have that. So that's for the first card. All right. And again, always like to just rub on the stamp with my thumb and get any residue off of here. And I have found that this seems to work the best. So we're going to, that one is ready. And then we have this sentiment and just doing the same thing here. And that always seems to work really well. Now I have a piece of scrap paper. Where did it go? Where did it go? Let's see. Got away from me. There we go. So that we can just try these out before we use them. And getting my foam mat because I took off my mat below here, which I think was adding to the problem with all the blurriness. And so we are going to just check our stamps first, and then we'll do some stamping. So we're going to open up our Pretty and Peacock ink spot. And I just kind of open that one side and leave it attached because I don't want to lose my cap, and this just keeps it easy here. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think that this stamp is on this block very straight, so let's just find out. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think that looks very straight, to be honest. But it's a great image, so I'm going to just pull it off, and we're going to put it on once again. So let's just see if we can get it to straighten off. There we go. And I'm going to put it on there. Okay, yeah, that looks much better. Okay, so then let's check out our leaf and just make sure that this is stamping good. These look like they have a little distressing look to them, and so I love that about them. Look at all the texture that's inside the stamp. So very nice. All right, I'm going to move that away. Just the scrap paper, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with some of our stamping. So we are going to stamp on the card base directly, and so we are going to put a few of the leaves onto the card base. So the first one is going right up here, right there, and then the second one, there's going to be 3 that we put on. So the second one's going to go right to the left of that. So right about there. Okay, so that's that. And then we have the third one that we'll put on. This is a gorgeous leaf stamp. I'm really pleased with that. All right, this one's going to go right down here, like so. Okay, so there you have those stamped items. Aren't they beautiful? All right, then the next thing we're going to do is stamp our sentiment onto this piece here. We have it straight again, or for the first time, on our stamp block. But here, let me see if I can line this up. There we go. Hopefully I got that right. Oh, perfect. Very nice. Isn't that nice? Yes. All right, so those are the pieces for this particular card base. And let's go ahead and start to put our pieces together. So on the back of our die cut, the big die cut, it looks like it's getting several glue dots added to the back of these. And, you know, I don't know if you just saw it or not, but do you see the leaves right there? They are, I swear, they are the same leaf petal that was in our die cuts last month. Now these are still, I think, available online. But look at this. I'm telling you, those are the same. So how fabulous that we could always bring those back in. But look at this. This is the die cut from last month. Or let me flip it over so you can see it better. And look at the leaves right there. They're the same. So if you have these die cuts, they're perfect to use for some alternates on these cards. So go ahead and consider that when you are dreaming up what you plan to create for your alternates. I know I'll probably be using them or bringing them in. So, so I am just going through and I am adding glue dots where it has indicated on the instructions, so that we can put our piece on base. So let's just see here. Looks like one here. Let's see. Does look like they have one there too. It looks like they're putting them where there are space to hide the glue dots from the openings or the pieces that are visible when we put this all down. So let's see here. I might need one more up here. Right here. And I think that takes care of that. All right, and then we're going to have some dimensionals on the back of this one. So just putting on our adhesive before we get to building, putting all of our pieces together. So just like that. All right, so I'm going to get these out of the way and bring our card base back in. So the first thing is to take off all of the covers. Just going to see if I can not make a mess everywhere with these little covers and make sure they all go in the trash. I cannot tell you, I cleaned up my little space a little bit. I cleaned it up. I shouldn't say it's entirely clean, but I did the floor around it, and oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many of these little covers I picked up off the floor. They were just everywhere. And I know people talk about the hexagon shape from the dimensionals, how they're everywhere in their house. That's the same way here. Same at my house as well. So, let's see, here we go. All right, so I think I might have had that. Let's see. I think we're getting close to how this goes. So you want to kind of line it all up, how it's shown in the picture. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time here. I think we're getting close. I think we're getting close. I think that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and begin to press down places. Ta-da. Isn't that beautiful? Gorgeous, right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and fold this and get my bone folder, burnish the score line over here. And that's our card. I'm just wanting to make sure they're put down to the best that they can be, so they don't move around too much. Because like you cannot have a glue dot really out here on this. It's so fragile. But I do like that it has the ability. Yeah, they are from the April, May, and June. Absolutely. And it was called, because I did not tell you that, Hugs a Bloom. That's what those dies are from, but I love that they match. I think that's such a fabulous thing. All right, so let's add our sentiment, because that's what we have left here to do on this particular card. And now I'm holding this card this way, but it actually wants it to go this way. So we are going to follow that. All right. And I see here that I have these like lifted up little pieces everywhere, but this is also going to tack some of that down. So I am just going to try and line this card up onto my grid lines and make sure that when I lay it down that I'm laying it down fairly straight. So there we go. There we go. All right, so that is that piece. And then we have some sequin that we are going to add to our card. Now I just have to figure out, where are those sequin? Oh, there. Okay. Oh my goodness, got the yawns today. It has been busy for sure here. I've been doing a lot today, getting around. I'm starting to feel so much better. And that was such a weird little thing I had going on with my stomach. So I am so glad to be feeling better. And so there, now we have our sequence added, and that is our card. So first card done. Let's go ahead and set that aside and grab the second group of things here. And let me flip my instructions over, and we are going to get some stamps out. Now we are going to need the one that says "Miss You." All right. And we're going to just put that here on a block. And then we are going to also grab this bigger leaf image. Oh my goodness, I keep yawning. That's terrible. Might get some water. All right, so we have this one as well. So I've got a little bit of a bigger block for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and rub on these. And you know, the first time all it's doing is taking off that little extra film that might be on there, and it does kind of make it look a little bit cloudy. Um, and then I know like I've accomplished my goal. So that one is done. And now let me just do that to this one. I like the font on the Miss You in this set. It's a little scriptish looking. So that's really fun. So let me grab my foam mat, bring that back in, and let's check out our stamps. So you know, you do want to check out your stamps when you get a new kit right away, because recently I did get a kit and I had 2 stamps in the kit that the images were not right. Like they were just, something was wrong with them. And so I had to reach out to Stampin' Up! And have them replaced. So you do want to check them out, because I only think you have about 60 days to do that. I think after 60 days, they don't promise to replace them. So you definitely want to do it right away when you get your kits and check out your stamps. Now, the ones I had an issue with were not a Paper Pumpkin. They were an online exclusive, but they did correct it for me. So there's those images. Very nice. I am loving the definition that is in all of these stamps. So lots of fun. All right, so we are going to start out by doing some stamping. Hey, Susan, thanks for joining. Glad you're here. Thanks for everybody else that's watching. I appreciate you watching. Feel free to say hi in the comments. Oh, you're on Facebook must have got reattached. I had some issues earlier that it wasn't showing up. So I'm glad to know that it is now. So um, I'm glad to know that. I hope you're doing well. All right, so we're putting a couple of stamped images onto the card base, and they're kind of randomly placed here, but I'm just trying to follow the instructions that are in the kit. So definitely make sure that you look at the instructions, okay? And then we have our little label here for the Miss You sentiment, and this very much looks like the radiating circle, the radiating dies that retired recently. This definitely looks like the circle die that was in that those die cuts. So there you have it. So there's that. And I don't know if you can see the little etching around the edge of that, but it definitely is there. And it's a little bit it looks like it's done with the basic beige, so it's very faint. Okay. All right, so let's put this card together. And for this card, we have this very leafy element that we will get to in a moment. But first, we are going to be putting tear and tape on this piece. So looks like it wants us to do tear and tape down this side, like so. And I do appreciate that they're putting the tear and tape in the kits because it is a lot easier and stronger than the glue dots that we get in the kits. And so obviously you could not use tear and tape for the other card we just did. You need the glue dots. But I do like that we are getting different options in the kits. So yay, Stampin' Up! Doing a good job for that. All right, so now let's take off our little adhesive strips off of the tear and tape. before we put it down. So like so. And then we have this one. So good. All right, now this is going to go, it looks like it's going right up against the edge here, and it does go from top to bottom on the card. So I'm just wanting to line it up and just make sure that I get it on the card straight. All right, so now we have that. We're going to press it down, and that is how those other pieces kind of fade through the back that we stamped onto the card base. Okay, so that looks nice. Now we're going to also add this additional greenery, which is just bringing in more tone. So we have basically these leaves, but they are like maybe second and third generation of the mossy meadow. And then we're going to have the full strength of the mossy meadow with this die cut. So you're just getting all the different levels of colors that you can get from ink. Again, we have those leaves showing up here on this die as well that match the previous month's kit. And now I want to curl this die, this little glue dot. I want it to be put in half because the space we're trying to put it in is really not going to hold the full size. Okay. Now, I also like to curl up my glue dots on occasion because if you curl them, then you can get a little bit of depth with the glue dots. So it's like having a smaller dimensional, not as fluffy or puffy, I should say. And so that's also an option. And we'll probably be doing that on future alternates. So for here, this piece is going right here on our card. And I'm just making sure I have it lined up properly, but it's just going to go right there. So as you can see, we just added that in, and now you can see all the different colors of green, the mossy meadow color that we have in the card. Oh my Lord, they have 4 dimensionals on this little sentiment. I am not putting 4 dimensionals on the sentiment. It 2 is more than enough. I probably only need 1. But you do you, because if you want 4, you put 4. Now this piece is going to go right here, and we're just going to be covering up that stem right there so that it looks like it's just coming right out from underneath the sentiment. Okay, and so you just have that like that. Then we have our gold sequin that we are going to bring in, and I'm just making sure I can see them before I start to put them down. So we have one here, and then we're putting one out here, and then one more is going to go right down here. And so that is that card. They're really beautiful, aren't they? They're very pretty, very pretty. But as I said, we will be cutting our card bases after today for alternates, definitely. All right, we are on to our 3rd card in this set. It's the 3rd and final. So we have this piece and this piece. Now we are going to do some stamping on here, and so let me get our stamps that we need. We have this leaf image right here. It's going to go right like that, and then we have this one. I need to get another block, but actually what I'm going to do is we're going to clean off one of these that we are not using again. So let me just get this cleaned off here. And we'll put that back on our cello. All right, so that's that. And now we'll have this right here. So let's go ahead and test these out and make sure that we have good images before we put them onto our actual pieces. So I'm just rubbing off like I've been doing here. And then this set of leaves here, again, I do think that these kind of match the leaves from the dies, but they are thinner. The petals are a little bit not as rounded and full. These are just a little bit smaller shapes. So let's just move those out of the way here. Let's test our sentiment. And I love this. Let's celebrate you. Perfect for birthdays or any kind of celebration, work celebration. Got a little funky little edge going on. That E, want to make sure that isn't how it's stamping. Perfect. All right, now let's check out the leaf. Again, it has the distressing look on them with the texture. And so let's put that over here. Awesome. So those are those elements, those stamp images. So perfect for what we're doing. All right. So now we are going to be stamping the leaf image onto the card base. And one is going to go right up here like so. Like that. And then we're going to do another one in the opposite direction down here. Like that. So that's how it looks on the card base. Okay. All right. So we have that. Let me move that out of the way. And then let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. Now, this is going on here like in the diamond shape of this. So I am, is this how it's going? No, it's the other way. Just making sure, because it's not really a diamond. It's kind of a crooked diamond. It's a really kind of a unique shape. I like it, but it's unique. All right, so this is going to go right here. Right there. All right, so that is our sentiment. Awesome. So you guys haven't said anything, but I hope that there's no blurring going on. I think I got my issue solved. So let's go ahead and put this card together. All right, so we're going to need some dimensionals on the back of here. Again, they use 4. I do not think we need 4. I'm putting 2. You do you. All right, then on this piece, or while I have the dimensionals, this little flower piece is getting 1 dimensional right here. Okay, so set that aside. Then this piece here is getting tear and tape. So let's just put some tear and tape on here. Like so. So 1 strip there, and then another strip going across here, like so. All right, so I'm going to put that out of the way. Now I'm just going to smooth down my tear and tape because it looks like it's not flat. And now I am going to, we have glue dots we need to put onto this piece. So let me do that really quick before we move on. So let's see. Again, it looks like none of these spots where they want us to put the glue dot are going to be big enough. So we're going to have to fold them over. So I'm placing them so that when I take off the cover of the glue dot, that I can just roll it back on itself, is the plan. So let's just see what we have. Put one right here, and then I'm gonna have one down here, and then one over here. And so because I have work to do on these and it's getting stuck to my mat, I'm going to just take these off. I trimmed my nails, so there's not much nail left. I'm going to roll those back onto themselves. And so I'm just pushing that back over to the back side. Let's do this one. Again, pushing it to the back. All right, we got two more. There we go. And then this one. Now, not quite ready for this, so I'm going to just set it back down. All right. And I'm going to pull the strips off of the tear and tape on this larger die cut piece. And this is going to go onto the card, and it's going to be a little bit covering what we stamped. Okay. And let's see, I'm just trying to figure out the actual layout. I think I got it now. I think that's where we're going to put it. Okay, so that's pressed down. Then we can add our little pretty peacock piece on top. So this one is going right across the center, like here. And because we have the glue dots kind of rolled back, you do have a little bit of like shadowing that's taking place on here. And so I think that's going to be really nice. So let's go ahead and burnish our score line as we finish this up here. So now we are going to add our sentiment to the front, and it's going to go right in the center area. Right here, it looks like. You know what? I bet it was supposed to go this way. It's okay. It just doesn't line up with the gold foiling here. I'm just noticing that, and that's why I'm taking my time a little bit, because I want to change that a little bit, because I want to be able to see certain things. So just know, like, there is definitely a direction that you need to have for this piece here, because if it was turned this way, then it really lines up perfectly inside that foiling. But I don't think there's any mandatory route, right? But we learned from that. So now we have our last little die cut to put on. And so this little guy is going to go right down here next to our sentiment, which, to be honest, that flower makes the whole card for me, to be honest. So you definitely want to have that flower. So let's just add our sequin to our layout here. So we have this one, and then this one's going to go up there, and then we have one more that we're going to add, and it's going to go right down here like so. And that is that card layout. All right, so those are the 3 cards that we have for the kit, and you can make those cards just as the kit was designed all day long, and they are beautiful. But next week we are going to be playing around with alternates, and I am super excited to bring in some colorful cardstock into the mix, and also bring in the stamps and dies from the Charming Day bundle, as well as the DSP that matches it. So this has been so much fun. I thank you so much for joining. I am so glad to have everybody here. I hope you will drop a line, say hello. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And come back next week and let's do some alternates together. And hopefully next week we'll be in the Facebook group or on the page anyway. It's on my Red Daisy Crafts page where it streams. So I'm not sure why that didn't work today, but we'll get it figured out. We will keep moving forward and trying all the things where technology wants to try and challenge us. So thank you again, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Open your kits, come back next week, and let's do some crafting together. Bye everybody, have a great week.